We're going to get started right away. Welcome to class 3 for the class 3 of the Power BI data analysis for Power BI. And it's been, we started on the first day, in the first class, we started with just general introductions and overview. And then last class, we started with the introduction to Power BI desktop, and we were looking at how to build a dashboard using a sales data, which we couldn't complete. So today, we'll try as much as possible to, wrap up with that in dashboard creation. And I thought also to, put together something rather than just, showing you the dashboards and the Power BI interface alone, such that it will be easy for you all to follow through all that we've been doing right from the Power BI desktop interface introduction. So I'll be showing you through slides. I'll be navigating from the slides to the Power BI desktop and back so that you can all follow along. All right. Regarding installations, okay, Olayemi said he's still unable to use Power BI despite having it on his system. Yeah, that was what I mentioned during the last class. For you to use the Power BI application, you need to have access to through use the use of the Microsoft Fabric account. And I shared that we can get an organizational email. For people that have, it's easy, but for people that don't have, it's possible for you to log in through, get an organizational email and log in through an organizational email. And we would have, you can have access to it. So once you have that account, you'll be able to log in on your desktop. So because Power BI is a Microsoft application, it comes with Office 365 package. So usually if you don't have Office 365 package, you might not be able to access the application. All right. So I don't know how you're going to get around this or Olayemi, but then if you can get in an organizational email, that would go a long way. We're thinking maybe we could just, for people might give it to people that need it and that they have been attending classes, all right, or people that are in class. So we might not trade open to the group. So we're thinking of maybe giving some persons access to our Office 365 package, maybe few people. It might not be everybody, just of course we can't do everybody because it's a whole lot, right? But maybe few people. So we'll send out a form. I'll be sharing the link. How do we share the link now? I'm going to drop the link in the classroom. All right. I'm not going to if I drop it on the group, we are so much on the group, so I might not know who and who are really, in the class and needs it. So you can fill the form and then we'll see if we can get you access to the Office 365 package. So it's not going to be for everybody. Maybe it could just be some people. But please, if you don't need it, don't sign up on the form. If you do, please sign up. I'll see what we can do about that before the next class. All right. Okay. That said, we stopped at the dashboard interface. Okay. And the link to the form is not here yet. It's not here yet. So we're just going to put together the form. All right. So you'll be filling some information about you so that we'll be able to record. I mean, so just monitor the LMS. Since you're hearing it, that it will be on the LMS here. So just monitor the LMS and check. Hopefully by tomorrow it should be there so that you can just fill the form, and it will be under the Power BI introductions where you have the installations and installation instructions. So we'll put the link there and let's see how um we can assist with that. All right. So we will be continuing from where we stopped, and we we were looking at the sales dashboard, right? Last class, we looked at the process of getting data and how we could get data using Excel, CSV, and the web. And then we saw that there are different, the process of creating a dashboard. So we're picking a sales case study. And the first step, right, is to import your data to Power BI, which you saw in the last class. So this class is the continuation of the last class. All right. So if we won't be going through what we did during the last class, but I'll just be touching on some updates so that you can all have a continuous learning. All right. So this is the outline for the dashboard, for the sales dashboard. The process: you first of all import your data to Power BI. Then you transform the data in Power Query, the Power Query editor. You create the columns and the measure for the data set. You create visualizations. You format the dashboard background, format your visuals, and publish to Power BI service. Okay, so during the process of transforming your data in the Power Query editor, during the last class, we created new columns from our data, from our dates column. So let me just navigate to the Power BI desktop so that you can see what we did. All right, so the next step, right? The first step was to get the data, which we did last class. So the next thing we did was to transform the data, and that's in the Power Query editor. So all of that has been done, but let me just go back to the Power Query editor. So navigate to the Power Query editor. You could just easily right click and say edit query on your table view, and then you have your data in the Power Query editor. So during the last class, we had the date column, right? And this date column, we splitted it into 3 other columns. We created new columns from the date column. That is, we created the months, the year, the month, and the month's name, right? So I won't be going over that because we have that recorded in the last class video. Okay, so we split it into year, month, and year. All right, using the split the choose column. All right, so after that, what we did next was to merge the 2 tables using the merge query and deselect the product ID column. So we have 2 tables here, the input table and the input data table and the master data table. So we merge them using the merge queries, which is here, over here. I don't know, can you see the Power Query editor? Or if I think Oluwade can talk. Can you see the Power Query editor? Okay, I was thinking we could see the Power Query editor. It's still on the Power BI. Let me go to the Power Query editor so that we can see what I'm sharing now. Let me share this window. Okay, so this is the Power Query editor. So what we did was to split this dates column into we have the month name, and the year. And afterwards, there are 2 tables. Let me just refresh this. There are 2 tables here. We have the input data and the master data. So the input data table was merged with the master data table. because of we needed some information from the master data table. So we used the merge queries here to merge those two, the input data and the master data together, right? So that was a step we did during the transformation of our data set. So we use the merge query. So let's just just follow through. I'm just going through this basics because this is a continuation so that we'll know what we did during the last class. Okay, so the next step after that was we closed and I applied our changes, and then we went back to our table, our Canva. Okay, so let me just go back there right now. Okay, so this is our original Power BI desktop. We're back here on our Power BI desktop. All right, so after that, after you transform your data and your table, the next thing to do is to calculate your column. I mean, you can create columns and measure and calculate measure. So when you to do this, you're going to use some DAX queries to do that. So on the PowerPoint here, I put some of the formulas that we'll be using that we used during the last class. So I just thought to reiterate it. Okay, so we have this first column that was added. We had to add the total buying price for each record. And let me just take you back to the data sets before we go into our PowerPoint presentation. So this is the record. The record is a sales record, right? You can think of it as a supermarket sales record, or any sales company's record. Okay, so we have the products. I'm on the input data table. Now, this is the products table where you have the sales table, where you have the products, the number of quantity that was purchased, the type of sale, whether it was direct, the card payment mode, discount, year, month name, master. I mean, okay, this was the March table. So from the second table, we have the products, right? The product category, the unit of measurement, the buying price, and the selling price. Now, when you want to build a dashboard using this data, you want to build a data analysis. You want to do some data analysis, and then you want to build a dashboard. The first thing you have to understand is, okay, what are the things I want to highlight? What insights do I want to generate from this table? What would my clients be interested in? What are the key performance indicators in my data? And how do you know that, right? You must have like some basic understanding of what the sales business is all about. For sure, the owner of the business would want to know what products is actually the best, the highest purchased product. What's the best selling product? Okay, so those are the things that would inform what you'll be doing with your data. So let me just navigate to the PowerPoint slide so that you can, now that we've seen the data set, right? Let me go back to the PowerPoint slide so that we can see some other things that I would like to share. Okay, before you start doing your calculations, right? When you want to create your visualizations, you have to understand, okay, what do I want to present? What do I want to present to my clients or to the users of this dashboard? I want people to be able to, see based on a particular month, what are the top selling items, right? What are the top selling items? What is the total profit made in the entire, whether in the entire duration of that particular business, or regarding the data set I'm working with, what is the top what is the total profit made, overall total profit, and they should be able to drill down to specific months. In January, what was the total profit? In February, what was the total profit? As well as you want people to be able to see the percentage profits of made, the percentage profit made regarding each of the products. And then based on all of this, that would inform what your visualization would look like. So you have different views of KPIs. What are the things I want to show? And that's what's going to inform what my design would look like. So the first thing that we want to calculate now, based on that KPI, is we have to calculate the total buying price for each record, because we've seen that on the data sets we have the products, we have the products category, we have the unit of measurements, the buying price, the selling price, and then we have, for the second table, we have the type of sales, the mode of sales, the discount, the year, and all of that, right? So, but then you want people to be able to see, okay, for on your master data, you have your buying price and your selling price. Can we calculate the total sales made for each of the category of our data? And in this table, right, that will help us achieve that. Here, we saw that during the last class, we created additional columns called the total buying value, the total buying price. That is, you want to know for each of these items, this is a particular product 35, right? And then they bought 5 of those products on January 1st, 2021. And the selling price was 6.7, the buying price was 30. So you want to calculate for each of these products, what was the total selling value? How much did we eventually make on this product? So you're going to calculate your total selling value and your total buying value to know how much you actually made. That means you're talking about your profit. So those are the key things that you like to highlight on your dashboard. So, but before you can highlight those things, you have to tidy up some things on your data set. And that's why we had to create these additional columns such that we're able to calculate for every of the data, for every of this record, what is the total buying value? The total buying value, what would be the formula? That would be what? The buying price, right, times the number of the quantity of what was purchased. The price that we bought that item times the quantity, that will give us the total buying value of that particular item. So that was how we got our buying the total buying value, and that's what I was trying to share on the PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so we have this. Let me just take you through some of this formula so that you understand what we're talking about. So we had to add 2 new columns, the total buying price of value. So I was just using it interchangeably. The total buying price for each of the record, that is the quantity that was purchased times the price. And then we calculated the total selling price for each of the record. So, to calculate the selling price now, you have to include the discount if there was any discounts on that particular item. And the total selling price will be the quantity times the selling price. For example, you're buying a good for you manufactured the good, you bought it for $20 and you want to sell it for $40 and you get a discount of 10%. What would be your final selling price? Of course, there'll be a reduction. That's the discount, right? So how did we get the total selling price? You have to, and then you're not just buying one of the items, you bought 5 items. So that would be 5 times, you sold that item for how much? $40. 5 times 40 times the discount. And to calculate the discount is a percentage discount. So it's 1 minus 10%, because if you just calculate 10%, you just it will be giving you the discounted value of like 10% of $40 is worth $4, right? Am I correct? Yeah. So 10%, 10% of $40, you have 0.4. Yeah. So, but then if you want to get the amount that you're actually discounting, you have to subtract it from the original selling price, and that's why you have 1 minus the percentage discount. So this would give you the formula for the total selling price. So this having known this formula, this will be written in DAX on your Power Query editor. Okay, so we added as well 2 measures because of what we are trying to present. We added 2 measures, and we have the profits and the percentage profits. So the profits, how do you get the profits? It's very, very simple. So sometimes if you don't know these formulas, maybe you're not into finance, you can even search online. What's the formula for profits? Is the selling price minus the cost price, right? Basic mathematics. If you don't know, you can just Google and then you check. That's the total. Now we want to get the overall profit, and that's why we're adding as a measure. We want to get the overall profit of our of what was sold in that company, that organization. So that's the grand total selling price minus grand total buying price, and that will give us the profit. The percentage profit as well is what profit over the buying price times 100%. So this formulas, right, was what was implemented here to get the new table. So let me just share the part I'm trying to navigate to. So you can see here that when we had to add new column, right? When we wanted to create this buying value or the buying price. So you had to add a new column. Now, this is DAX. That is data analysis expression. So it's very, very easy. It's just if you're used to Excel formulas, it's very easy to it's very, very easy to understand. So it's not very difficult. All right. So you have your quantity, like we saw on the formula table. You have your quantity, and what is the quantity? Well, by the time you're even typing, it's going to bring out suggestions to you. The quantity is from the input data table. So sometimes you might be having multiple tables, as much as maybe 5, 6, 7 tables. So, and then you might be having some column names the same column. So that's why it has to reference the table. So you have the input data table quantity times the inputs buying data table. On the input data table, you have the master data dot buying price, because we merged these 2 columns, 2 tables together. So if you're not merging, you can use relationships. So, but then we're not going to touch on relationships today. I just want to take you through the flow of how to build something that's like how to build a dashboard, so that we can touch on some concepts in Power BI, because if we have to go through every of the details, we might not be able to finish, or we might not be able to get to the end of what we have to do. But because of our time, we have to just use a project-based approach to learning. All right, so we have the input data buying price times quantity, and that gave us this column from last class, and then the selling value as well. Input data times, the quantity times the selling price times the discount give us the value. Then the profits, we created a measure using our measure column, created from table tools, created new measure, and then we entered the formula for the measure. If I'm going to create a new measure, I'm going to click new measure, and then it's going to ask me for the formula here. But because I'm not creating one, I've created already. We created a measure called profits, which is what? The selling price minus the cost price. And here, if you were to use the selling price, that's the selling value is on the input data table. So we start from the input data. Okay. This is showing profit and percentage profit. That's not what I want to get out. I want to get out. Okay, sorry. I have it there already, but let me just do profits 2 equals sum of the input data. This is the input data selling price. You know, we talked about the ground profit, right? Sum of the input data selling price plus, minus the buying price, the total buying price. All right, so that gives you the profit. So when you do enter, it's going to give you the profit 2 table. This is it. This is it here. I'm going to delete it because I don't need it in my table. I have it. I have the profit already, so I don't need another profit. So you can see that it's there already. So let me just delete from model. Okay. So here, having understood that, right, we've done all the tables additions we need. So we've now started building our dashboards. Now, based on what we want our data to look like, right? The first thing we did was there are different type of visuals we can use to represent our data. But because usually when you're doing dates related visuals, maybe dates, you can use a drop down, or maybe you want to do selections. And if you're doing a selection, right, if you look at your data, like what you can select, you can create selections based on categories. Like if you look at your data, like this, if you have something like a payment mode, cash online, maybe like this payment mode has like 2 categories, cash or online. So this would be a very good column for a slicer. You can use a slicer to depict this. You can use a pie chart or a donut chart to depict this. So depending on the kind of data set, that will tell you what kind of charts you can use on your data. So, but usually if you want to control your data using some categories on your dashboard. For example, we'll be looking at other examples, right? But let me just stick to this example. So here we want the user to be able to check for cash payments and then drill down to whether cash or online. So for this type of column, we have to use a slicer. You can also, for sales as well, you can use a slicer where you have direct online, and also I can use a slicer to depict that. For your dates, the month name, you have like 12 categories. You can use a slicer, but this is very, very large. Your product is about, you have about on your product table, you have about 45 products. This is, if we go to the product table, so here you have about 45 products. So using a slicer might not really be very user friendly in building your dashboard, because that's a lot of category. Okay, so if you have something like age range, you have something like gender, you know, continents, all of those, something like that, you can use a slicer to depict that as well. And then for some other graphs, like that has location data, you can use a map. So depending on the kind of data, that's what would inform the type of visual that you'll be using. So because we want to control our dashboard using year, month name, sale type, payment mode, and then let's add one more. Okay, I think this would do for now. So I think this was where we stopped last class. I guess so. So let me just arrange it a bit. Okay. So I also mentioned that for each of these visuals, you have their properties. Okay, so for each of those visuals, like this one is a slicer, right? And then you can format the visual if you want, change the setting. I want to change it to, I don't want a between, I want a vertical list. Okay, so I want a vertical list format so that it would, fit my my month name as well. So I can have something like this. Okay, let me have it down here. All right, so we have that. You have your sales type. Your sales type is is in a drop down format. You can go to your visuals, the slicer setting. I can change it to a tile if I want. A tile would look like this. So I'm gonna let me just drag it down a bit. So for Power BI, it's good if you have a mouse, because if you're using your laptop, it might be a bit very, I mean, it might be very, very slow. So I don't have my mouse here now. So that's why clicking, because you're doing a lot of click, drag, click, is like you're doing design. So you'll be doing a lot of formatting and all of that. So it's good if you have a mouse. That would make your work very, very fast. Okay, so let me just reduce it a bit as well. Okay, I think this is fine. So usually if you're having something like this, you can always copy it and duplicate so that you have the same size. If you're having the same visual, it's good to like maybe format it, because eventually you're going to design your dashboard. This is just, we are doing the skeletal work. By the time you start doing designs, right, it would affect all what we are doing now is going to affect our design. So I'm going to, as I want to make my payments mode also, I want to make it a tile instead of a drop down. I can go to during the last class I mentioned how we got to the payments mode slicers, right? You just select your slicers, and once you select your slicer here, this is your slicer. It's here, it's telling you your slicer already. Click on it and then you check payments mode. Automatically it generates the visual for you. Okay, so let me quickly edit that, and I have it as a tile. So because I want this to be in the same format, because they are the same visual, so let me just duplicate this so that I have the two in the same format. I'll just change this from cell type to payment mode. Just reduce this and have it here. All right. Okay, so I have that. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to put some other key performance indicators. So here I want to add here I want to add I want to add the total sales. I want the user to be able to see my total sales. I want to see my total sales. I want to see my total profits, my percentage profits. All of this, I want that to be seen as well. So what we just did, we've created, use your slicer to create the month and the year in checkbox size slicer format, the sales type in a drop down. Okay, I created it in a tile format, or whichever format that you want your data to look like. I mean, your visualization to look like. You can just adjust it to that. You can also use your card visuals to create the top selling price, that is the total sales made in for each, either for each year based on the filters, or for the entire sales year. So to do the total sales, we calculated our total our selling price. Sorry, we calculated our total selling price. So you're going to use that to create your total sales. So let me just navigate back to, I'll be doing lots of navigation here and there. So, okay, so here to create this visual, I think this was where we stopped last class, or maybe we moved a little bit after past this. You have we're using our KPI to build it. So once you click your KPI, right, automatically it gives you, sorry, let me just delete and put it back. Sorry, not the KPI, I mean the card visual. I was looking for the card visual rather, not the KPI. Oh, so you have to be careful of your graphs. Be sure to select your visual and not so that you don't have issues. Don't select other visuals. You click outside before selecting your the visual that you need. So here we want our total selling price, right? And how do you get that? So whenever you choose your visual, you use your card visual, and then it's telling me here, it's telling me that I have the sum of the total selling price here. Let me just clear the filter. I don't want any filter to show. So let me just clear it, clear selection. Okay. Selections. All right. So this is my sum of this is like the total selling price made for this particular the entire sales year. Let me just format it a bit. I want to remove the decimal point. I want it to look a bit more professional. So I'll just go to my format visual. You can do all of this labels, right? They have it's just like your normal editing tools. You could just you know, check through as you use it, you get better at it, right? So you can just check through and edit. All right, so we have this. I want to also reduce the fonts because I'm going to put some other, you know, things there. I want to show some other things. So I'm going to let me reduce the fonts to like 20. Okay, and then I can rename it as well. Go to visual and okay. Okay, let me go to my format visual. You can rename from here and change it to total sales or something. Okay, now it's a bit you know, concise. So I can, because I want more of this, I can have more. I can just copy and paste as many times as possible. I pasted 8 of it. I want more of it. So I want percentage profits. Let me pull one here. Okay. It's not very aligned. I'll still do all the alignments later, but let me just get out what I need to get out. Okay, so now the next thing is to get my total, my profit. So I'm going to choose, this is on sales. This is showing me total sales. I want the profit. So what do? I click on my profits, the profit measure. Okay, so rather than the total selling price, I click on the profit and it gives me my profits. That's it. Then also I can use this for my percentage profit. Okay. It's still on the total selling price. So let me click on the percent. So you can see the essence of what we calculated. Now my percentage profit is giving me negative. Why? Let me check. It's not supposed to give me a negative, except, and the negative is really, really negative. So let me see. There's something wrong with my formula, or okay, let me go back to my formula, see what is happening. On the input data table, let me go to the measure I created, the percentage profit. Okay, percentage profit is supposed to be division, not minus. Profit over the buying price times 100%. So that's where my error is. All right, so I just corrected it, and now it should be better. So I'm formatting it as a percentage so that the 100% would, and then I reduce it to 0. And here you see my profit is better now. All right, so here I also want to feature other things as well. I want to feature so these are cards. their cards that at a glance you can see some particular figures. All right. I'll stop for some minutes later by 9 for to take questions. So, but let's just keep going. I want to see how far we can get with the visuals before we start formatting the designs. Okay, so I think this is fine. So also I want to show the top products apart from the profit. So let's go back to the PowerPoint. Okay, so we have we've done the total sales, total profit, percentage profits. Now let's go back to the top products. So you would also want to feature your top products. That is the products that are actually doing well with your data. At a glance, you might not be able to see that, but on your dashboard, you want to feature that. So how do you do that? You can do that using some Power BI, Power BI visuals, right? So with that same card, so what you are going to make use of your filter. So you're going to select, because you're looking at the top product, right? You're going to select the product, you filter it by the product ID. Because on the product table, you see that they have each product has an identification number. We have two tables, right, that were matched. We have the sales table and we have the product table. And last class, I showed you the relationship between the two, how the sales table relates with the product table, and how you can have one product and multiple sales for just that singular product. It has a one-to-many relationship. So because we have a product, right? You have to filter it by the ID. Select the top, because we are looking at the top product, the product that did well based on what the price, because that's what will justify the position of the products. We are going to filter it by the selling price, because the selling price is going to tell you which product actually performed best or not. So based on your use case, because we are working with the kind of finance, data, it's not core finance, but then just like a sales data, simple sales data. So your KPI here is you're going to be filtering based on your selling price, because selling price is going to give you the best products. It's based on the amount, the one that made the most money. Right, so we're going to filter. Let's go back to our dashboard. So I want to talk about the top. We're going to do top product. We're going to do the total, the price of the top product. No, the top product is telling us the position, like which product actually was the top, the first product that was sold at a very, very great price, the most price. But now we don't know the price. What is the exact price? So this is going to tell us the price. This is going to just tell us the product. This is going to tell us the price. Then we want to know how much products, how much quantity were sold for that particular product. So we're going to also use our filter to filter based on the quantity. And then there is a measurement, unit of measurement as well for each of the products. So we're going to also filter based on the unit of measurement. And then want to know the category of that product. Okay, so all of this we can use as sliders and filters to achieve that. So I'm going to do that quickly now. Okay, so let's start from here. Let's start from the top products. Okay, yeah. So now here is on sales, right? But because we want to filter based on the product, so we are going to use our filter, our filter icon. You're going to use your filter icon. Let me get my laptop plugged. Okay, sorry, I had to plug my device. Okay, so we're going to filter based on the, this is the total selling price. So we're going to filter this. We're going to filter based on the product ID. I'm looking for the product ID. You drag the product ID to this place. And then here, you're going to select based on top number of the products. I want the top one products. And then my fields would be the total selling price. Apply filter. Okay, so I just did the quantity. Sorry, it was on quantity. I wanted to choose your product. Okay, let me just leave it at that. So what I did here was, this is the quantity, that is the amount of the number of the products that was sold for that top product. So that was what I just did, because I didn't know my checkbox was on quantity. Okay, so I'm going to do the other, so I can rename this as well. Let me just rename that quickly. Products completing. All right. Okay, so I'm going to go to the next one. I can do the unit of measurement as well. So for the unit of measurement, the same thing. I'll select the unit of measurements instead of the quantity. I'm going to select the unit of measurement. Let me expand this a bit so that I can see what I'm doing. The unit of measurements is here. I'm going to select the total selling value, select the unit of measurements, and then here, if you notice, as I selected it, the filter is just automatically on. If you see the filter, it says first master data. That is, it's filtering based on just the first record. If you come to the filter, I click your down your drop down arrow, you can see that it's filtered based on the first. So you can filter based on first, based on the last record. But this time around, I won't filter based on the top the top products. So here I would have to bring in my what qualifies the top product. That's the product ID. I'm going to bring in my product ID to the filter. All right, and then I'll click on words top N1, and then I'm going to be filtering based on my selling value, because that's what tells me whether that product is actually the highest or not. So it's going to, I think it's the same. This FT is actually the unit of measurement that has the highest value. So we can just call this unit of measurements as well. Okay, so we can do the price now, the top price, the product total. So let's, because it's we are talking about the total sales, so we're going to use the total sales to filter. So I'll just retain the total sales, and then I'll use the product ID, the top products, and then the fields. I can also select the total sales fields and apply the filter. So you can see that top product, it made like 23K sales of total sales. Okay, so that said, let me see how to put it together. Now I want the product name this time around, not just I want the product name. We've done the quantity, we've done the unit of measurement, we've done the sales. Now the name of the product itself. So what would we use for the product name? We're going to use the same filtering. But this time around, we're going to use the products as our basis. So we have the products. This is the product itself, the master product, instead of the total selling value. Right? You can see that the name is already showing. So by default, it picks the first product on the table. But I don't want the first product on the table. I want the product with the highest sale. Okay, so we have to do our filter. Now, our filter is just filtering based on the product itself. So, but I want the product with the highest sale, and that's what we have to bring our product ID first to give us. Here you can see that when you brought in your product ID, automatically it's already counting products. 001 is the first product with 13 counts. We have products 002 with 15 and all of that down to other products. We have 44 products. So we want to pick the top products based on the total price. So we're going to use the top N. And then here we're going to put the total selling value. And then we'll apply our filter. So product 41 actually was the products with the best selling price. So here I can just, rename it somewhere. You could just use the top products. All right, so we have our top products. Okay, we have our top products. We have the quantity. Let me put the unit of measurements close by. And then we have the sales. So this is for the products. Now, let's do for the category, the products category. Let me focus on the insights first before doing the designs, okay, so that I don't spend so much time on designing. Okay, so let's do the category as well. So if we want to do the category, what would we use to filter? Can somebody try that? We want to do the category total, the total category, the product with the total category. What would we use to filter? What would be our filter value? I don't know if we can access the chat or the Q&A. Did we get the question? We want to filter based on the category. Can somebody help me with what would be the filter? What would be the column that would use to filter this particular visual? Okay, because of our time, we'd use category to filter because we want to filter based on category. All right, so we're going to use category to filter. Let me go back to my PowerPoint slide. Okay, so we have the total, it's on the total sales now, right? The total sales. But because we want the category, want the category total, we want to know the quantity of the products with the highest category. So we're going to use our total sales. Then we're going to be filtering based on the category. And then we're going to use the top N1, and the value that we'll be using to filter would be what? Our total sales, because that's what we want to get. So you can see that the products, the top product category had a total sale of 95K. The top products had a total sale of 23K. These are top products. The top product category. There's a difference between the product category and the products. Like the products can be, I explained last class, the products can be, let me use fruits category, for example. We could have under fruits category, you could have banana, you could have apples, you could have strawberry. So the products can be strawberry, right? With the unit of measurements in kg. And then the quantity of that product sold could be 132 of strawberry was sold. And the total sale made on that strawberry product was 23,000. Now, the product category, now we could have more, we could have different categories. We could have fruit, we could have beverages, we could have grocery. Okay, all of them. Okay, we have groceries. We could have different categories. I believe you understand what I'm explaining. And we want to know the total sales made from the category with the highest sale, right? And that is the total sale made from that category. So now that is this figure you're saying. Now let me just rename it so that we don't get confused. Top category sales. Okay. This is not total sales. Let me change it to top products. Okay, it didn't change. Let me change it again. So all of this, where you're formatting, sometimes you might not even have to use this one from Power BI. There are different ways to design your dashboard. Sorry, top product sales. There are different ways to design it. You can use PowerPoint presentation to design it, because using PowerPoint gives a lot of flexibility, because you can bring in some it's in terms of the alignment, formatting, and so many other aesthetics. Right, PowerPoint would add that to you. So once you do that, I think I might touch on that. Let's see how fast we can get with this. So let me now select this time around. Now I want to select, this is the product, right? This is the top product. Now the top category sales, this is the sales. And then we want to look at the category itself. What category actually is the one with the highest sales? So to do that, this time around, we are going to use our category as our basis. We're going to change it from the total selling value to category, right? And then we're going to filter based on they're going to filter based on your total selling price. The category does not have an ID, so we're going to, it's just the category. So we're going to filter based on the category, and then the top category one, and then we'll have the total selling value as the value by which we want to filter. So we have category 4 as the one with the highest products, the highest sales. So I can just edit this name. It's too large. So we can say top category. So I'm just leaving these markers for the sake of reference. We might have to change them, because so as to make our dashboard a bit more professional. You can use your own text, your text box to do the namings and all of that. You might take away all of this names, but I'm just leaving it at that so that we can see what each is for. Now we've done all those cards. Now let's do some graphs with our data. Before we go into the graphs, do we have any questions? Now I don't know how we can communicate. If you have any question, you can just indicate with the raise of your hand, because the chat is not accessible. Do we have any questions? If there are no questions, let me continue. All right. Okay, let's just go ahead. So we're going to look at some graphs, and the first one we'll be looking at, so we've done all of this visual, so let's just do some visualization. So we're going to look at the monthly visuals. We want to create, want to see some sort of charts whereby we can see at a glance the total selling value and the profit made. So that's the first we want to do. We're going to use a stacked column chart for that. You can use other charts for it based on the number one, the aesthetic you want to communicate, if you want to communicate, and what you actually want to communicate. So you can use a stack column for it, you can use a clustered bar chart for it. So, but for this one, I want to use a stack column chart. I'm going to be showing you the difference between the two. Okay, so let us go there. Let's get that done quickly. So here you can see these are your stacked bar charts. So usually you stack bar chart for there are some items that you want to show in an horizontal format. You can use either a stack bar chart or you can use a stack there's a difference between a stacked bar chart and a clustered bar chart. Clustered is the charts, the individual charts are together, the categories are merged together. Okay, let me just do the stacked column chart first. So we're going to select the visual that you want to show, and this time around I want to show my total selling value, and then I want to show my total selling value. I want to show my month because that's what I want to show. I want to show my month name, and then I want to show the profits. So you can see that your at a glance, you can see how much you're selling in January, you sold in January, December, and all of that. We're going to work on the ordering. All right. So you can see at a glance what you sold for each of this item, for each of the for each of the months. So here you can see that we have the selling price and the month, but I want to add another layer, and that's why it's called stacked. You can stack it, you can add more layers of insight on it. So I want to add, apart from the total selling value, I want to add the profit as well. So let me include the profit. So for each of this month, you can see the profits made. You can see how the profit looks like. So I'm not adding a Q&A. So that's another one. So you have this, like this. This is a stacked column chart. It's a stacked column chart such that you can stack each of this item on top of each other. If you're doing it as a clustered bar chart, this is how it's going to look like. So it's showing you for each year, January, instead of the profits being on top, is by the side. Instead of it being on top. So it depends on how you want to show your data set. If you feel that this would look better to your audience, fine. But then I'll prefer because the profit is very, very far apart from the total selling value. You can see the value is so large, the profit. So to really, really see the difference, I prefer a stack bar chart for that. So you can also use a clustered column charts. See what a clustered column chart look like. It's looking like the clustered bar chart, but it's just that the bar chart is in a horizontal format and the column chart is, sorry, the bar chart is in the horizontal. The cluster bar chart is horizontal, while the column chart is vertical. So that's just the difference. It's still the same thing. All right. So the same thing with the 100% stacked bar chart. So I'm just using this opportunity to explain what is related to the different visuals that you can use. The 100% stacked bar chart, what it does is it converts your value to 100%, and then it puts them on top of each other. This is what is stacked. When you say stacked, that is on top of each other. But if you're saying clustered, it's beside the visuals usually beside each other. So here it converts it to 100%, and then it's showing you the difference between each of the value. You can see that this one is 86%, 85.42, and then the profit made was just 14.58%. So that is for the 100%. Then we have the 100% stacked column. You see, one is what? A stacked bar. This one is stacked column chart. It's just the reverse of it. Then you have the line charts as well. This is showing your profits. I mean the total selling value, and this is showing the profits. Sorry, this is the profits. This is the value. So this is not really giving us the right insights that we want. If you're doing something like exchange rates, maybe you're trying to show the rise and fall of your value, maybe your either dollar value or pound value, you could use a line chart, because that would give you a very good picture of how one is rising and the other one is falling, because they are usually within the same range, but this range is very, very far apart. This is profit. Profit is very, very smaller than the value. The value of an item can be as high as 1 million, and the profit you're making on it might not be up to like 100,000. So the difference is so large. So the line chart might not really. So the only thing the line chart is just showing is the trend. It's telling you that the selling price is falling. When you order this, you can sort it by here. This is sorted by the total selling. I can sort it by the month name in descending order. I can sort it by month name in a descending order, or ascending. Okay, by month name in ascending order. So it's going to sort it according to the month name. So, but then if I want to sort it based on January to December, I have to go back to my data. But I'm just showing you the visuals. I'll still touch on that when I want to finally present this visuals. So you can see the line charts, right? That is how the line chart looks like. We have the area chart. So area chart will give you an area overview over your data sets. You can see that that's the difference. We have the stacked area charts. So the stacked area chart is just like the stacked bar chart, where you have this this is where the selling value rises and stops. That this is where we have the selling value, and then you have the profit on top. So you can have an item sold for 40,000, right? And then there is like an additional 10,000 profit on it. It places it on top. It's not placing it beside it, unlike the clustered charts, right? So that's the area chart. That's what the area chart does. Then you have the 100% stack chart, area chart. So this calculates the percentage difference, and then it stacks them on 100%. So it calculates, it's going to show you in percentage. You can see the percentage difference on the tooltips. All right, so we have the line stacked and the column. So you can merge two charts together. You can merge a line chart and a column chart together. Let me put percentage profit and see if it's going to show anything. Okay, you can have this line and the column charts. What it does is that it uses one as a stack chart. Then you can have another trend as your line chart. So you can put your line chart on this place. If I want my line chart, you can put it on the y-axis, and you can see that there's a line on this. It's showing the rise and the fall of what your data looks like of the profit. But this I wouldn't use this in this case, because I don't want to see the rise and fall of the profit. What I want to see about profit, I want to see the difference, like how much more did I make on a particular item, not the trend of whether the profit is rising or falling for this particular chart. So the kind of insight you're showing as well is very, very key, to your visuals. Okay, so I think I touched on all of those ones that is related to this kind of charts. Okay, we have the waterfall charts. Yeah, the waterfall chart is also good for, it's good for now it's showing you that in January, this is what was made. It's showing you the increase and the decrease, whether there was an increase, whether there was a decrease in your data. So it's from January, December, we had a profit increase. Then we had in November, we had in August. If our data was sorted, we might have seen better. So I'm going to go back to sort the data when I finally settle for the graph I want to use, right? So let's move forward because of our time. Let's just go to what we would use. I'm going to use the start column like I mentioned earlier. I'm going to use the start column, and I am not putting my percentage profits. I'm just going to use this. Let me reduce the graph because of space. When I do this, it's because of my filter, I'm having a very, small space, so I can just further reduce it. All right, so we're going to do like one more, about 4 more graphs, and let's see how we can now just quickly go to the design so that we can have all right, so this is our selling value. So for each of the value, you can see that we have in January the number made. Okay, but then it's not sorted. So I want it sorted. I want it a bit sorted. So I'm going to come here. First of all, I can sort by the month name now. And then I want to as well sort them in ascending order. Okay, so I have to sort. It's not still sorted. We see that we are still having April to September. So to sort it, you can go to your table, click on the month name now. I want to click on the month name, sort colon by month. So when I sort it by month, you can see that it's all sorted now. So let's go back to our data and see our data. Our data is fine, it's good, it's sorted, right? Let me clear the filter, I don't want it. Okay, so we have this. We have this. Okay, let's go to the next visuals. We are also going to do that of the selling price by product. We want to do a clustered bar chart for selling price by product. So let me just click out. So that's okay. I've cleared the filter. Okay, let me use a clustered bar chart for this. I want to do a selling price. Where's the selling price? Selling price by the product. That is, I want to see which products has the highest selling price. So here you can see that our product 41 here is actually the one with the highest, just like what we are saying in on this page. So I'm still going to reduce some of this, remove some of the names and all of that for the sake of so I'm going to do an area chart as well. Let me do an area chart. And this area charts will be having, let me see if I need to sort this. No, I don't need to sort it. It's fine. It's a product. It's not a year. So I'm going to go to also do, I'm going to do an area chart for our daily sales. So I want to see the trend of how our sales is, our daily sales. So I can just do something like this for the area charts. Let me go to the sales, the months, my months now. I'm going to use day because it's daily charts. We have under the dates, we have a date hierarchy, and then we have the day, right? And I want to see the daily sales. So I'm going to use my total selling value. to see the sales made over the course of the each day of the of each month. So you can see here that we have for each of the months, you can see what sales are being made, right? You can see that here. You can see for January 1st, we have 3 sales. We have here you can see the sale count for each of the days. So here, that's what this graph is telling you. So we can also have our donut chart as well. We can use donut charts to show some of our categories. We can use our donut chart to show some of our categories. We can use our donut chart to show our sales type and our payments mode. So let's do that quickly. We want to see our sale type by our total selling value. So you can see here that you have your sale type for the direct sales. You can see the amount you made. Here you can see here that the direct sales made the highest amount of sale. So from this filter, you might not be able to see it. So this donut chart is giving us another insight about what we have on our dashboard. Okay, so we have that. We also have let's put one more for our payments mode, and then we can. So I can put my this my tips here. I can put the markers. I can put it in the horizontal format. I don't want it at the center. I want to put it bottom center. All right. So I can have it like this. All right. So let me duplicate it. I want another one for the payments mode too. So I'm just going to change this to payment mode. All right, great. There's a filter somewhere. I don't want the filter now so that I can focus on what I have. Okay. Well, okay, yeah, so it's here. Okay, so you can see your payment mode here as well. So now I think we are okay with these visuals. Let's just get into some designs. So this chart is very, very busy. You might have to turn off some of the like you can turn off the names. I don't need a name. I just need I need a very good template to fit into my design. So I'm going to turn off all of those names, and then I'll turn off some of the tips as well, so that we can have a better view of our dashboard. Okay. At this point, do we have any questions? Do you have any questions? Okay. All right, if we don't, let's continue then. Okay, so I want to reduce this. I want to reduce this my I want to reduce it. It's too wide, and because of the names, I don't want to I don't want to touch on the name. So I'm going to reduce the fonts. So I can select I can select them at once and reduce it together, so that I can do 15 instead. Okay. So we can now start doing some, arrangements, how you want your, so what I want to do now is you have to turn, I will turn off some of the tips. I'm going to turn them off so that we can have enough space. So I'm going to turn off, okay, now, okay, apart from, before turning it off, now you see that anytime you're doing a selection, for example, let me clear the filter here. When you select 2021, it's going to show you just 2021 sales on this dashboard. You can see everything is controlling both this, is controlling this, everything here. That's the power of Power BI. Okay, so you see that when you select this, it's controlling everything. And when you select 2022, it's going to change. It's going to show you the data related to 2020. You can see in 2021, the top product was product 42. But in 2022, the top product was product 30, right? So you see that the way you build your dashboard is very, very key to how your data would be, I mean, the insights that it's going to generate, because if you build it wrongly, then you see that what you'll be showing your users a wrong information. I mean, you'll be giving them a wrong information and wrong impression, right? So it's very, very key to know how well to build your data set. So we're going to when I'm checking this month, I don't want, because when I click on January, you see that only January is showing here. It doesn't have any use. I don't want this to happen. When I click on February, I just have one single graph. I don't want such thing to happen. So a way I can do that is to turn the interaction between January, this particular visual and this visual, turn them off. Also, the same applies to our sales, because they are of different, I mean, they are of the same column, right? If I click online, you see that it's just showing me one graph. It's not giving me any unique insights. If I click wholesaler, it's showing me one graph as well. So I'm going to turn the interaction between this and this. The same thing with the cash, the payment mode too. By the time I click online, you see that it's not giving me a very good visual. I don't want that to be happening on my dashboard. So I'm going to turn off interactions. For now, let me clear all the selections. Let me clear everything. Now, for you to turn that off, you can just go to your formats, go to edit interactions, and then you see that everything is connected to one another except the one that has been selected. So you can just click, because I want to turn off the interaction between this and this, I'll just click on this. Automatically, it's turned off. So also, I want to turn off the interaction between this cell type. Okay, this is my cell type and this one here. So I'm going to do that. Also for the payments mode as well, I'm going to do that so that my graph looks better. So I think that has been done. Sorry. Let's go back. Let's leave edit interaction. So now if you see, when I click January, you see that this is not changing. All other graphs are changing, but this is not changing. So I don't have a single graph when I click January. February, you see that other graphs, and this one is not changing, but other graphs are changing. Likewise, if I click online, you see this is not changing, but other graphs are changing, because I don't want a situation when I click online and then everything is just showing one single donut chart. It's not giving the right insights. Okay, so that I just thought to address. So now we've done our dashboard. Our dashboard is good, but then we need to make it look professional. We need to add icons, add backgrounds, add colors and all of that to our dashboard to make it very, very professional. So the first thing I'll just want to do first is to remove all of the tooltips. So let me just remove this. Let me clear my selection. So I can select similar, sorry, I can select similar icons together. Okay, let me just do this one first. Okay, this has to be the same. You can go to format visuals. Sorry, let's go to this place first. Check want by name, okay, it's fine. Data label off. I want to turn off some things. I want to turn off my title. I want to turn off some of the title, turn it off. Then I want to turn off the labels as well. The X and Y axis. I don't want it. So the header icons too. The header icon is fine. And let me leave it. So there are a lot of formatting you can do here on your dashboard. There are a lot of formatting you can do. Like you can add the picture. Okay, this is the text I'm looking for. Sorry, I'm looking for the X and Y axis visual. Yeah, value. Oh, I want the values. Title. Okay, the columns series. So you're going to turn off every of the ribbons and the plot area. I'm going to remove the grid lines as well if I don't want it. Or I can include the grid lines if I want it. You know. Okay, let me go to this one. So I'm just trying to format some of them. Okay, so do we have any, if you have any questions, you can drop it on the chat. I'll attend to them while I just do all of this. It's category label, turn it off. Okay. This will help my, where do I have the filter shown? Okay. All right. I think I've done just the still type. Remove this too. Even icon. Title effects, no content effects. Okay, so I'm just trying to work on some of the slider settings. No, slider editor off. All right. Okay, so now let's do some editing. So you can either do your design on PowerPoint or you do it on here. All right, but because of our time, we might not be able to go over PowerPoint design. But PowerPoint design is actually very, very effective because it would help you to do all of your alignments and everything would be very, very, it would be neatly done. So if you're going to do it on PowerPoint, maybe for our next project, I can take you through that, designing on PowerPoint. But for this one, let us just do this one for now. Okay, here. So you can add icons, you can add backgrounds, you can add text and so many things that you want to add on for regarding your dashboard on your dashboard, right? So here for you to do that is similar to you using your PowerPoint or your other kind of Word application. Is still the same thing. So for me to do the background, let me add before the background, I want to add some icons and then some labels. I'll add some labels as well to label all the ones that have all the small ones that I don't have names, so as to label them. Okay, so let me just do that quickly. This is for the products and this is for the category, right? Okay, so that I don't miss it. Okay, so let me insert. You can go to insert, you can go to shapes. Okay, let me use the rounded shape. I can have the rounded shape here. And then you can have something like this. Change the I can change the transparency effects, shadow, the properties. The size is fine. My next time I'll have to plan to use my mouse because it's slowing my clicking. I'm having to struggle to click. So I was actually looking for my transparency, shape, rotation style. Okay. Yeah. So I can just increase the transparency. I don't want it to be too transparent. Right. I can pick another color. We just use something let me use light blue, or I think I can, or you can use a peach or something. I could just pick a unique color based on what you want, it depends on the theme of your dashboard. You can look at, okay, what's the name of, the clients, which client am I working for? What are their colors? What would, what would look good to them and all of that. You could do that as well. But before, also, I'll need to include, I want to include my, you can send this backward. So on PowerPoint, it's quite easy because there are several ways to here. You have to be careful that you're not moving anything and then you're doing your editing, your styling perfectly. Okay. Rounded shape, rotation, style, action. Group. Okay, not yet. I'm not grouping yet. Okay, I can also I can insert a background. So there are different places to get icons. You could get your icon on there are free sites for your icons. You could get your icon from the Upsplash. You could get your icon from there is this site called Shutterstock, but I think Shutterstock you have to pay for some of the icons, but on Upsplash, you can get free icons. So let me just quickly navigate to Upsplash to do some icons for my dashboard. So usually you can have all your icons downloaded if you want. You can have them downloaded if you know what you want, right? So but then if when you're designing your dashboards, you could have several icons downloaded. So let me just quickly get online to download. I don't have some on this system. So let me just quickly get online to download them. The icon. You have flat icon, Upsplash, but some of them you have to reference them if you're using some of the icons for free. Okay, so let me just go back here. So I'm just trying to load that again. Can just do can search for professional backgrounds. So you can search for your backgrounds that you can use for your PowerPoint presentation. It's really taking time here to set up. So let me just I'll use the background I have on my one of the background I have on my system. Let me look for flat icons. Flat icon. This is faster. Three icons. So I need a symbol for sales. So because of our time, so your designs can also take you so many. So people that are actually design inclined, you'll be very good with data visualization, data analytics, because you'll be doing a lot of nice design dashboards and all of that. So I'm just going to use anyone for now because we don't have much time, right? So let me just download one for sales. Okay, let me download this. So you can download PNG or SVG. So okay, this said I have to attributes. All right, if I'm going to use it on the web. So for now, I'm not using it on the web, it's on my desktop. So I've downloaded that. I would also need icons for I want to show what other thing is on my dashboard that I'll be needing an icon. Let me check. I'll need an icon for product category, or like an award. I'm an human. All right, thank you. Let's do award. Award for the top products and the top category, right? So we can just use one of them for the top product or top category. Let's give them an award. Okay, let me download this as well. Okay. Let me download this as well. Okay, so I think let me just make do with those icons and let me download like maybe a logo for our fictitious sales company. What logo now? I cannot use any of these ones because if you use them, you have to. Let me just use something like this. Sales logo. Maybe a logo that has money in it. Sales logo. Okay, so we're getting there gradually. Very, very, very. The network is very, very slow. Okay, while I'm doing that, let me just get other ones on the dashboard. So we have this, let me navigate back to my Power BI desktop. Okay. Okay, now this is our dashboard. So I'm going to create, I want to do something like, let me first of all duplicate all of this. I don't think I like this color, but let's see. I have a background. Let me first of all include the background. You go to, you just click outside your dashboard, right? Then you go to, let me scroll down, sorry. I'm having issues because I'm not with my mouse here. Okay, so we want to add a background to our, let me go back to my home icon. Go to format your report page, canvas background. I can browse. Let me see if there's anyone I have. Maybe I think this should be a background. Let's see what this looks like. Maybe it might make some. Okay. I can't see the background yet. I think it's coming up. Oops. Okay. So this is what the background looks like. What's the feel? I don't think I like this background. What do you think? I don't like this background. It's making my dashboard. Okay, let's work with this. Let's work with this. Let's see what we can do with this background. I like something very, very plain and not too so this now I wanted to add some shapes to this. Let me go back to my shape now. Style. Let me change it to something more transparent. Oops. Let me change it to something more I'm not very, very good with colors. Let me change it to something more. So I just like anything that is very plain so that I don't fall short of colors and all of that. Okay, so I think I'm just going to remove this background. I don't like it. Let me just remove it and stick to my shapes. I'll stick to my plain background and stick to my shape. So let me just remove this background. Okay, yeah, it's fine. I like it like this. So let me go back to my shapes. Do we have any questions so far?